We all have dreams, right? This is me, a photo manipulation artist that want to learn VFX. It's like photo manipulation but for moving pictures. More fun, much harder. My dream is to be able to recreate some scenes from epic Hollywood blockbusters like Dune. But for that I need to use Houdini, the hardest 3D software out there. But the problem is that I have no clue how to use it, so the only way is to learn it. But every time I got close starting, a whisper of doubt drew me away. Then one day I realized something that changed everything. So now my approach to this problem is completely different. Today I will show you exactly how I did it. Actually, I wanted to start learning VFX years ago, but every time I was overthinking. I thought that I'm not ready yet, that I don't have enough knowledge or skills to do it. And I always thought, what others might say about my work? Is it good enough? And I think that this is normal, that many of us are going through this stage. But is it good? So with just a simple mind shift, I was finally able to start my VFX journey. After my first VFX experiment on this channel, I wanted to see if I can pull off something more serious. I wanted to recreate Dune, one of my favorite sci-fi movies since I was a kid. I have 2 months and these 7 scenes to recreate. Plenty of time, right? So, let's do it! I was so excited to recreate Dune that I started with one of the most complex scenes. Ornithopter flying around Spice Harvester with a lot of dust, smoke and sand. So the first step is to model all the vehicles. I started by gathering some references for Spice Harvester.
A spice harvester is a massive machine that gathers the precious spice of Arrakis, fuel of empires, while surviving the deadly desert and its giant worms. For the people who control it, the harvester is the beginning of the wealth, power and survival. What once looked like a triumph of technology now feels like an intrusion, something that doesn't truly belong there. Now the harvester stands as a proof that every attempt to take from Arrakis comes with a price.
While I was looking for some references for the Ornithopter, I stumbled upon some cool and affordable 3D models, so I purchased it. It was a big time saver, to be honest.
Did you know that in the Dune universe, advanced computers are banned? Machines must be human-controlled, not autonomous. Ornithopters relies heavily on pilot reflexes and awareness, reinforcing the theme that humans, not AI, are central.
Now that I have all the vehicles, let's make some smoke and dust simulation. I have tried so many times to create a proper realistic dust from Ornithopter with the tools that I know how to use, but with no good results. So I reached out to a friend for an advice. Thanks. We'll check it out. Let's learn Houdini. How hard it can be, right?
Houdini has a notoriously steep learning curve, often considered one of the hardest 3D programs to master.
I have no other options but to start learning Houdini and hopefully finish everything in 2 months. But every time I start watching one of Houdini's beginner tutorials, a quiet whisper of doubt pulls me away.
It's too complex, too technical. You won't be able to do this. You're not good enough. Maybe you should make a different YouTube video, something easier.
Then, something happened. I realized that I'm not learning VFX for others. I'm not doing it for views or likes. I'm doing it because I have desired it for so many years and I will not quit now. I will do it for myself, no matter how long does it takes. And I knew that I have 2 months to finish that project, but I didn't care. At that moment, all the tension disappeared. And for the first time, I felt relief. I spent next 45 days watching a bunch of YouTube tutorials and learning Houdini. I can say that the logic is totally different from other 3D programs that I used in the past, and yes, Houdini has a steep learning curve. Finally, I was ready to make my first smoke simulation for the Ornithopter. It wasn't easy, but it was really fun, and that's what counts. I was pumped to see how my simulation is coming to life. But I quickly realized that I need a lot of hard disk space for the simulation files, which I was lacking, obviously. So I had to purchase additional SSD just for this project. I had quite a bit of trouble nailing down the smoke from Spice Harvester. I spent a couple of days trying to figure it out how to make the smoke follow a certain path and tweaking the smoke size and the shape, and I ended up dividing the smoke into 3 different segments, 3 separate simulations that I will later combine one in compositing. Simulations in Houdini take time, a lot of time, sometimes even days. Especially if you want high-resolution detailed smoke. And that comes with another cost, a huge amount of disk space. So I had to make a compromise, to lower the resolution of the smoke in order to save the time and disk space, but still to be good enough to look decent on the screen. The smoke is done, the animation is done, the only thing left is to nail the animation of the Ornithopter's wings. If you don't get the right frequency of the wings going up and down, you'll get some pretty strange results. After a few trials and errors, I got something that I liked. Now it's time to complete the scene and to render all the elements separately in order to have more control later in compositing. I thought that the hard times are behind me. All I need to do now is to hit the render and wait. This happened every time I wanted to render smoke or Ornithopter wing animation. Blender crashes over and over and over, no matter however I tweak the scene. I was so frustrated that I started thinking about quitting this project, this time for real. What's the point if I cannot render out the scene? It doesn't matter that I model everything, that I created a smoke simulation, if I cannot make the video out of it. But I was stubborn and determined to finish this project. After countless hours of diving deep into the issue and trying everything that came into my mind, I found a solution by accident. It was so easy and stupid that I couldn't believe. I just needed to turn off the visibility of the layers. That's it. It worked. First out of 7 scenes is done. The next scene was practically the extension of previous one, so it was pretty easy to do. 5 more scenes to go. One that is obviously harder than others. Worm eating a spice harvester. What I thought that would be faster and easier to complete than the first scene that I did became the hardest thing I ever done. The easiest part was to model and rig the worm.
From the endless desert of Arrakis, the shadow steers beneath the dunes. The mighty Chage, the sandworm, awakens. It rises with unstoppable force, drawn to the rhythm of footsteps and machines. To the Fremen, it's both god and monster, a test of courage, a symbol of eternity.
Now it's time for the tough part, the dust simulation. I thought that I know how to do it until I have started doing it. Shortly I have realized that I need more tutorials, and more and more and more. It was really slow progress. In theory, I knew what I should do, but in reality I didn't know how to do it with the tools that I learned so far. So going back and forth between the tutorials and Houdini simulations, I have slowly made some progress. The idea was simple, to first make some sand simulation that I will later use for a dust simulation. The process was slow and hard. After a lot of iterations and weeks of hard work, I finally got something cool. But just that sand simulation took almost 650 gigabytes of storage. My new SSD was almost full at that point of time. I just needed the dust simulation and we are done. But the dust simulation was probably the trickiest part. Whenever I made some changes to the dust, I needed to wait for half a day to see the simulation result. And I had so many changes. I didn't know what exact settings to dial in to get a proper result, so everything was the result of trial and error. After a little bit more than 3 weeks since I started this last scene in Houdini, I finally got it. A little bit lower resolution of dust to shorten the simulation time, but I think it's cool enough. The worm scene is almost done, we just need one more element. The Ornithopter with 2 people in the back looking at the worm. In the movie they had a real replica of Ornithopter and this is how they filmed it. I just did it on a green screen and some post-production. The compositing part was done fairly quickly compared to the rest of the project. Then I added some music and sound effects, but I was missing one really important ingredient, the sound effects of the Ornithopter's wings. I couldn't just use a helicopter sound because it's not helicopter, it's Ornithopter, it has different sound in the movie, so I improvised. I recorded myself doing some sound with my mouth and then later in post-production I tweaked it a little bit and I got something that I really liked. Then I did some color grading and voila! Here we have it. Now for the first time, let's look all 7 scenes together. Let's go! So if you're someone who dreams of sailing the vast sea of VFX but waits for that perfect moment, I've got you. I've been there. But the truth is that there is no perfect moment. Actually, the perfect moment is right now. Right now, this is the perfect moment. Because the longer you wait, the more opportunities you will miss and it will be much harder for you to start. And that can reflect to any dream that you have. So just take the first step and then one step at a time, and sooner or later, you will realize how far you've made. Instead of quitting this project, I finished it. I know it's far from perfect, but I finished it, and now I have a new tool in my disposal and amazing, rewarding feeling of accomplishment. So don't forget that anything is possible if you put hard work and dedication to it. And before you go, I would love to see, I would love to hear, to read what's your dream and what's stopping you from pursuing it. Let me know down there in the comments. And see you next time. Bye bye.